Hey guys, Delta here. This is my top exotics to bring to Lightfall video, and these are going to be exotics me and my team will be bringing into the day one raid. We'll be setting up all our classes so we can cover any situation that comes our way and do the best that we can on this day one raid. And if you're interested in doing day one, I recommend you get some of these exotics and set them up similar to how I do or how others do in some of their videos. A lot of this will cover resilience and discipline, and some of them will also focus on intellect. So those are the main stat distributions you will be focusing on in this video. So Verity's Brow is going to be my first exotic. It's a good team support exotic. It increases your fire team's damage by increasing grenade recharge and increases your own grenade's damage by 35%. Now, the stats that I would focus in on this for would be discipline and resilience. Discipline, so you can increase your grenade's recharge speed, so you can have faster uptimes on your grenade, and resilience, so you get that damage resistance inside the day one raid. Now, you want to pair this with a solar weapon. That's where I feel like it shines the most, where you pair it with the solar subclass and a solar weapon, and I use the touch of flame aspect and healing grenades if I'm not in a boss encounter, because then I'm able to chuck a healing grenade at my allies, chuck a healing grenade at me, and then I'm always able to keep it up. When it comes to team play, you can use this on boss damage to give other people their grenades faster. As you see here, me and my partner are using Verity's both, and the reason why we're getting this buff is because of Feeling the Flames. Feeling the Flames is going to give you an insane recharge rate, and you're basically going to get your grenades back instantly. The next team support exotic I want to talk about is going to be the Lunafactions. It's going to increase your range and your reload speed. The stats I'd focus are resilience and recovery or intellect. Now, in this clip, you see that my damage gets increased and the damage fall off is lowered. For my reload speed, I'm using my Fire and Forget that has 2 in the reload stat. And you can see when I step into my well, the reload speed gets significantly better. So this will be useful on your day one. The next one is going to be Starfire Protocol. When Verity's isn't going to work as well, say you don't have any ads to really do anything, Starfire is where it will really pick up. And it's also a very good support exotic as well, because you can get a grenade kill and give an ally a rift. Now, the other benefit is that you get grenade recharge. It's about 20% per tick, and you're able to do pretty good damage with it. The only downside to that is it requires an Empowering Rift or a Well of Radiance. Rain of Fire is going to be our next exotic. It's good for slow reload speed weapons, doesn't really provide team support, but it gives you free radiant on getting any fusion rifle or linear fusion rifle kill. Back with my Fire and Forget with the slow reload speed, I can use this to reload that really quick if like a Vice Stinger does not proc on it, or if another weapon gets buffed that has a very slow reload speed. Another benefit to this is, like I was saying, you can get Radiant off of fusion rifle kills, and I tried to pair this with Vex Mythoclast since it is solar, and Ember of Empyrean will reset my Radiant timer, and it works out really well. Next up for my Titans is going to be Heart of Inmost Light. It's good for damage, it increases all ability regen, and you have good ad clear with it. I'd focus on resilience and discipline, because those are the two main ones that you're going to be using. Your thrusters are going to be resilience for your cooldown, and discipline is of course your grenade, and that's where most of the benefit comes. This is also good to be paired with the Verity's build and getting that insane recharge rate on top of what you already get. And it is really good for damage, as you see on this Colossus on Nessus. that it kills it relatively fast. Falling Star, I feel like, is a self-explanatory exotic. It's good burst damage and gives you 2 Thunder Crashes for the price of 1. Next up is going to be Dune Marchers. I recommend this because you get fast movement, good ad clear, and a chain effect if you can't use your chain effect guns like Full Shot and Trinity Ghoul. Now, this can be useful in many different settings, and say we have to pick up something and run, this is why I would recommend Dune Marchers, because we get that increased sprint speed. Now, this can be replaced with other exotics, but this is one that I will always bring anywhere I go inside of the game. Last one for our Titans, and I feel is so underrated, is Crest of Alpha Lupi. It's great for team support, healing, and orb gen, and this is why I actually recommend it over something like Loreley's Splendor, but it is good. I focus Resilience and Intellect since those are the 2 main benefits of this exotic, and I'd also pair it with Void. And you see here that I regen well over half of my health just from that, and I got an overshield. On the topic of orb gen, I would go with Orpheus Riggs because it can generate a lot of orbs and its super gen is really good. Going into the start of Grasp of Avarice, just to get my super fast and lock down this section where a lot of enemies come out, I get half of my super because of how Orpheus Riggs is, and if I run a full Intellect and Resilience build, I will have my super in under 2 minutes, so I can lock down any section. Now, for my damage exotic, I would go for Star Eater Scales. It's effective on any class, and you get increased regeneration on orb pickups. Orbs are amplified by 3 to 2% depending on the type. If it's a super orb, it's 3% increased than what it was before, and if it's a small orb like through guns and stuff, you get a 2% increase to what you would normally get, which is very nice. And not to mention, it's a 75% increase to the damage of any super, which I would use that over like Celestial Nighthawk, but it pairs well with all supers, and that's why I would recommend to bring this into a day 1 setting if you're going to be using a hunter. Next one on our list is Young Ahamkara Spine. It's going to increase your trip mine damage and increase your regen, and removes the damaging effect of trip mines. Credit to G Miners, because that was actually the video I watched and gave me the idea to put this on my day 1 build. But the stats I would recommend for this are going to be Resilience and Discipline. Discipline because this build mainly focuses on grenades, and Resilience, like I said again, for the damage resistance. Day 1, huge for damage resistance. That's mainly the only stat I'm going for in the day 1, other than like stuff to increase my damage. Liar's Handshake is going to be my last exotic on the list. It's going to be good for ad clear, pairs well with 1-2 punch, increases melee damage, and you're going to get health regeneration. So if you're trying to clear large rooms with very tanky enemies, you can face tank them yourself by running high resilience. And I'd pair this with high intellect to get your super to take down the really chunky enemies that you may see. Now, this is one that I'd only run in an ad clear encounter and not into a boss encounter, but it pairs really well, and I'll be able to take down a lot of champions on my own and won't really need any help. Now, if you guys made it this far, I wanted to thank everyone for all the support I've been getting. I know it's not a lot, but I've seen a gain of almost 100 subscribers in the last 2 weeks and almost 400 watch hours, which is mind-blowing. I never thought when I decided to start uploading more that I'd see the results that I am. So if you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe.